5 frozen dinner rolls to never buy, and 3 that are great. Frozen dinner rolls seem foolproof. Buy, thaw, bake. Everyone's happy. Simple transaction between you and carbs. Except not so simple. One tasted like wet cardboard, another baked into a hockey puck with delusions of grandeur. One was so stale, we questioned if it had ever been frozen or just gave up on life. So today, we're ranking the 8 most popular frozen rolls. From do not bring this to Thanksgiving to this might actually save your holiday. Because rolls aren't optional. They're the carb foundation holding your reputation together. Get them wrong and your aunt notices. Your relatives judge. Your kitchen credibility evaporates. We found 5 brands that will ruin your holiday ambitions and 3 that are genuinely exceptional. By the end, you'll never buy the wrong roll again. And trust me, the winner at number 1 was so consistently perfect, we thought we were hallucinating. Multiple ovens, multiple holidays, same result. Let's start with the 5 frozen rolls that shouldn't make it anywhere near your holiday table. These are the rolls that failed at their singular job, being acceptable bread. Number 5, Pillsbury Frozen Dinner Rolls. Pillsbury built their empire on convenient baking. Poppin' Fresh, the doughboy, cultural icon. You'd think frozen rolls from them would be automatic wins. You'd be wrong. These rolls bake unevenly. Some pop beautifully. Others stay pale and stubborn like they're actively resisting the oven's heat. The inconsistency is maddening. You can't predict the outcome, which makes serving these at a holiday gathering feel like you're gambling with your reputation. The interior is dense, not in the satisfying hearty bread way, in the this was undercooked somewhere in production and never recovered way. The texture is rubbery on the outside, doughy on the inside. You bite through, and it's like chewing through conflicting textural statements. The butter flavor is artificial, not subtly artificial, aggressively artificial, like someone extracted butter essence and replaced actual butter with a chemical approximation that tastes vaguely buttery and aggressively wrong. Here's what's frustrating. Pillsbury is a name. You trust them. You've trusted them for decades. So when their frozen rolls disappoint, it feels like personal betrayal. Like a brand ambassador suddenly revealing they never actually believed in their own product. Consumer feedback from holiday gatherings is consistent. These rolls are the safe choice for casual weeknight dinners. They're acceptable when nobody's paying attention. But holiday dinner? When your rolls are being evaluated by judgmental family members. Pillsbury frozen rolls are too risky. Food critics who've tested these describe them as inconsistent, pedestrian, and a disappointment from a trusted name. You can do better. You should do better. Moving on to a roll that costs less and managed to be even worse. Number 4, Kroger Frozen Dinner Rolls. Budget-friendly, grocery store staple, theoretically functional, and absolutely, spectacularly unreliable. The problem starts before you bake them. Open the bag. If you open the bag and you're not hit with any aroma at all, that's your warning sign. Fresh frozen bread should smell like bread. These smell like nothing, empty. Like the rolls are going through the motions of existing without bringing any actual personality. During baking, they resist rising. Some batches will cooperate. Others emerge from the oven, pale, dense, and looking like they've internalized every bad thing anyone's ever said about them. The texture is gummy when warm, becomes stale shockingly fast when cool. The flavor is so neutral it's almost offensive. These rolls aren't just bland. Their blandness in carbohydrate form. Reheat performance is catastrophic. These rolls transform into something harder and less appetizing. Not just stale, actually structurally compromised. Kroger brand works for certain contexts. Midweek family dinner, lunch for kids who won't be paying attention. Not holidays, never holidays. When you serve Kroger brand rolls at Thanksgiving, people notice. They don't say anything. That's the problem. They just eat them silently while making mental notes about your standards. Great value at Walmart? Even worse. Number 3, great value, Walmart. Frozen dinner rolls, the absolute bottom tier of frozen roll pricing, which, unsurprisingly, corresponds with the absolute bottom tier of flavor. Before baking, there's a chemical smell, not bread smell. Not yeast smell, actual chemicals. It's concerning enough that we double-checked the packaging to confirm we weren't baking something toxic. The texture after baking is somehow simultaneously gummy and tough. It's like the roll doesn't know whether it wants to be undercooked or overcooked, so it's attempting to be both. You bite into the exterior. It's tough, borderline crunchy in the wrong way. The interior is gummy, clingy, leaving a residue on your teeth. The flavor is absent. Not bad. There just isn't enough actual flavor to register as disappointing. It's like eating the concept of bread rather than actual bread. This is the roll you buy when your goal is literally just to have something bread-shaped on the table. If your goal is impressing anyone or providing an actually pleasant eating experience, Great Value is actively working against you. These rolls are cheaper than the others by maybe 50 cents. That 50 cents is coming directly out of your dignity and your guest's experience. Pepperidge Farm, a premium brand, somehow managed to be almost as bad. Number 2. Pepperidge Farm Frozen Rolls. This one hurts because Pepperidge Farm is supposed to be quality. They make cookies people actually enjoy. Their bread products are generally solid. You'd walk into the freezer section, see that Pepperidge Farm label, and assume you're making a winning choice. You'd be making an expensive mistake. These rolls are surprisingly bland. The packaging promises that Pepperidge Farm bakery goodness, but the actual rolls taste like someone read a description of bread and attempted to recreate it without tasting bread. The rise is weak. They don't expand properly during baking. You get something that looks vaguely roll-shaped, but feels denser and smaller than it should be. It's like the dough got tired halfway through rising and gave up. The texture is what most accurately described as a soft hockey puck, hard enough to have some structural integrity, but soft enough that it's still technically edible. Everything about this contradicts what a good roll should be. And the price. These are premium priced. You're paying substantially more than Great Value, more than Kroger, and you're getting a worse product. That's not just disappointing, that's insulting. Premium branding without premium performance is the worst kind of betrayal. You trusted the Pepperidge Farm name. They responded by creating a frozen roll that tastes like they don't believe in their own product. But nothing compares to the absolute disaster at number 1. Number 1, worst, Sara Lee dinner rolls. The frozen roll that somehow managed to taste old before you even baked it. This is the only roll we tested that came out of the freezer already tasting stale. It's like the staleness somehow transcended the freezing process and persisted in the frozen state. That should be impossible. Yet here we are. During baking, they don't rise meaningfully. They just heat through, achieving a sad, depressed form that vaguely resembles bread without any of the joy. The interior is dry and crumbly, not in that charming, rustic way, in the way that suggests the texture was created by accident rather than intention. You bite into these rolls and they immediately start disintegrating. By the time you've chewed through half of it, you're already questioning your life choices. Reheating is where these become truly offensive. The rolls don't warm through, they crystallize. They become chalky. They're somehow worse reheated than fresh from the freezer, which is an impressive accomplishment in the wrong direction. The flavor is stale flour with minimal butter notes. It tastes like the roll equivalent of giving up, like someone in the factory was having an extremely bad day, and that energy transferred directly into these frozen rolls. When we served Sara Lee rolls at a test dinner, people asked politely if there were other bread options available. That's the universal code for, this is bad, and we're being considerate about telling you. Sara Lee rolls represent the nadir of what frozen rolls can be. They're not just bad, they're actively offensive to the concept of frozen bread. Never again. Absolutely never. All right, we've destroyed your confidence in grocery store frozen rolls, but don't panic, because there are 3 frozen roll brands that are genuinely exceptional. Rolls that make you look competent. Rolls that holiday guests actually enjoy. Rolls that make people ask where you bought them because they taste like quality. Let's start with number 3. Number 3, Pillsbury Southern Style Biscuits. Technically a biscuit, not a dinner roll. But here's why it deserves your attention. It outperforms virtually every frozen dinner roll on the market. The buttery aroma during baking is immediately impressive. You open the oven and that butter scent hits you like a greeting from an actual bakery. It's authentic, inviting, and makes the entire kitchen smell exceptional. They bake to a beautiful golden top. They rise perfectly. They emerge from the oven looking like something worth serving. The texture is the real winner. Crispy exterior, tender, flaky layers on the inside. You can actually pull them apart like biscuits should be pulled apart. The layers are visible and distinct. The butter flavor is real, not chemical, not artificial. Actual buttery taste that suggests actual butter was involved. These are richer than traditional dinner rolls. They're more indulgent. For people who want their roll to be a minor dessert component, these deliver perfectly. Are they technically a dinner roll? Debatable. Do they outperform dinner rolls? Absolutely. If you're okay with serving biscuits at your holiday table instead of strict dinner rolls, these are phenomenal. But if you want an actual dinner roll, Sister Schubert's is where you should be looking. Number 2. Sister Schubert's Dinner Yeast Rolls. The roll that your grandmother probably served and the roll that still exists because it actually deserves to exist. This is the classic. The one that food writers and culinary professionals reference as the benchmark. And when you bake them, you immediately understand why. The authentic yeast aroma is unmistakable. Not artificial. Actual fermented yeast smell that signals real bread making happening inside your oven. They rise beautifully and consistently. You get that perfect golden brown exterior with visible yeast development. They look professional. They look like they came from an actual bakery. The texture is soft. Not gummy, not dense, just genuinely soft in the way fresh bread should be soft. You can tear them apart, which means they're structurally sound but still tender. The flavor is complex and developed. Real yeast notes, buttery richness, the depth that comes from actual ingredients rather than chemical approximations. These require minimal prep. Thaw, maybe brush with a little butter, bake. They come out exceptional with virtually no intervention on your part. They're a crowd pleaser across demographic lines. Kids enjoy them. Adults appreciate them. People who pay attention to food quality respect them. Sister Schubert's has been the gold standard of frozen dinner rolls for good reason. They deliver consistently excellent results across multiple bakes, multiple holidays, multiple test kitchens. But there's one roll that somehow manages to be even better. Number 1, best. Rhodes Bake-N-Serve Rolls. The absolute gold standard of frozen dinner rolls. This is the roll that when we tested it across multiple batches, multiple ovens, and multiple holidays, performed flawlessly every single time. No exceptions, no inconsistencies. Just reliable, exceptional results. The high rise is immediate and impressive. These rolls expand in the oven like they're genuinely excited about baking. You watch them through the oven window and see them achieving actual bakery quality height. The exterior becomes golden and crispy with visible browning and caramelization. The color is appetizing. The texture is crispy in the right way. Light, not hard, with a little crackle when you bite through. The interior is phenomenally soft, pillowy. You bite into these and they're genuinely enjoyable in a way that most frozen rolls aren't. The crumb structure is open and tender. The yeast flavor is prominent and developed. These taste like they came from a real bakery. Not just bread-shaped products. Actual bread with depth and character. Brush them with real butter right after baking and the transformation is complete. These become the kind of rolls that people remember about your holiday meal. The consistency is remarkable. We tested multiple boxes across different time periods and different ovens. Every batch performed identically. No variations, no surprises, just reliable excellence. Reheat performance is exceptional. These rolls reheat beautifully without drying out or becoming stale. The next day, they're still excellent. This is the roll you buy when you want to be confident your contribution to the holiday meal is excellent. This is the roll that makes people ask where you bought them. This is the roll that says, I care about quality and it shows. Rhodes Bake-N-Serve Rolls represent what frozen dinner rolls can achieve when executed properly. They're expensive compared to budget options. They're worth every penny. Your holiday dinner rolls don't have to be mediocre. They shouldn't be. You deserve rolls that taste good and make you look like you know what you're doing in the kitchen. Next time you're at the store, skip the frozen disasters and grab Rhodes. Your table will thank you. Your guests will thank you. Your reputation as someone who can handle basic carbs will survive. Got a go-to frozen roll brand? Drop it in the comments. And if you've been suffering through great value rolls, our condolences. You deserve better. Subscribe for more food investigations that'll change how you shop. We're exposing everything, from frozen rolls to the sneaky disappointments hiding on your holiday table. Oh, and if you don't subscribe, you think Bad Bunny should perform at the Super Bowl.